So today at my volunteering, I was speaking to a woman who was really, really upset, and she felt really low because her boyfriend wasn't listening to her. Her boyfriend wasn't really hearing what she had to say, and her boyfriend was focusing way too much on the situation than the actual emotions going on. And what I really want to get across in this video is that us guys in particular can sometimes think like this. We think very rationally. So we can almost dismiss our emotions if we feel like there's no logic behind them. And I say that as somebody who's done this for most of their life and who has seen this around them as well, with friends, with family, with most men in my life. It's all been quite logical and rational, and I'm a big fan of Stoicism, which is about focusing on what you can control and not on what you can't control, and really advocates this approach towards life, which is very rational. But I think on the other hand, it's really valuable to accept that at the end of the day, we are human and we are going to face challenges both externally in the real world and also just internally, emotionally. And we might not always know what that feeling is really trying to say, or we might be upset about something that seems a little bit ridiculous. And I just want to get across that it's okay to feel like that from time to time. What's most important is how you actually act on it. So it's okay to feel really alone or stressed out or anxious or scared or any negative emotion. It's okay to feel that. And it's about accepting those emotions and actually processing them instead of turning to porn or other escapist kind of methods. It's also important to acknowledge that it's way better to actually deal with these emotions by processing them and really feeling them than it is to take the easy route and, escape or even like shout at somebody or be mean. A lot of people can do that. A lot of people are so dismissive of emotions or anything slightly deep that they'll just try and get away from it as quickly as possible. And sometimes that's because the fight, flight, freeze response has been activated. The amygdala has been activated, and so we want to get away from that scary situation. But in the long term, it is so much better to just deal with the emotion there and then and build that into a habit. Because when you can actually feel your emotions, when you can actually feel alone or stressed out or anxious, you learn that you can handle it. Whereas if you just escape it every time, then when that emotion comes up again, because it will, you're going to be overwhelmed and you're not going to know how to handle your emotion, or you're going to be mean to somebody or escape it or not actually get what you really want from somebody and fail to communicate your needs appropriately. So learning to deal with your negative emotions is honestly the best thing to do. It's like a superpower. And I think that's more important than quitting porn. And I think when you master this, it's very easy to quit porn as well, because then any emotion comes up. And first of all, it's not going to be a trigger. It's not going to lead to having sexual urges, because you're going to be like, okay, I feel alone or I feel anxious. And you can instead be like, that's okay. I know how to handle this now. And then second of all, obviously, if you learn how to deal with like loneliness, shame, anxiety, whatever it is, then that skill is transferable for you to be able to deal with sexual urges as well. So when I was on the phone today to this woman and she was telling me about her boyfriend not being able to really listen to her and actually accept her feelings and how she felt about a situation, I kind of resonated with the guy in the story. I kind of remembered from previous relationships that I've had, and I was like, yeah, I just can't be bothered with all of that. I don't want to hear it. It's so irrational. It makes no sense to me. Like, why are you upset about this? But nowadays, I think if I had a relationship, I would learn to actually just listen and really try and identify, well, what's the actual problem here? Like, what are you actually upset about? How do you feel? Because although those feelings may not be rational to me, they are feelings, and that is what's important. And so next time you feel alone or shame or anxiety or any negative emotion, be a bit kinder to yourself, be a bit more compassionate, actually listen to it, and don't always use your mind and try and think your way out of problems, because from my experience, that just, it just does not work when it comes to quitting porn. So I hope this video helps. It's all about accepting our emotions and building this as a skill, as a habit. And I hope you will continue with me on this journey of quitting porn. and I will see you in the next video.